Okay, Sony. What the fuck was that state of play? I wasn't planning on making a video like this at all. I have another video in the works that's coming out very soon, but then, as of recording this video yesterday night, was a state of play. And they said that the state of play would be indie focused, third party focused, 5 PlayStation VR 2 titles, and have a big section of the Suicide Squad game. Personally, since I don't care about VR and the Suicide Squad game, I had my expectations low. Plus, state of plays are usually not that good. Like, we've had a few good ones every now and then, but in general, state of plays just aren't it really. And the big PlayStation showcases are usually the thing to look forward to. So I had my expectations really low. But of course, I just like games, I like following gaming news in general, so I watched the PlayStation State of Play with low expectations, and I was extremely disappointed. It was 45 minutes long, and all the games that I really remember was Street Fighter 6, which looked really good. People that like Street Fighter 6 are probably gonna have a really good time with it. I personally don't care that much about Street Fighter or just fighting games in general, but you know, it's cool that it was there. And the other game that I remember was Resident Evil 4 Remake, which looked fantastic. And then of course the Suicide Squad game I remember, but that's not really a thing for me. Like, I'm not into those type of games, especially not after they showed all the permanently online thing, all the weird RPG stats of, oh, you get plus 5 XP if you use this weapon, plus 5% ammo drop rate. I think all of that stuff is really dumb, and I don't know why gaming is going in that direction, but that's besides the point here. I'm just trying to say that the show was 45 minutes and barely showed anything of interest. Now, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to all the indie developers and all the other games that were shown here, but there was just nothing here to really carry the show. Like, yeah, Street Fighter is cool, Resident Evil 4 is really cool, and they should be shown off, and they had really good trailers, but I don't think anyone has to be sold on them by this point. Like, if you like Street Fighter, you are already getting it. If you like Resident Evil, you're probably already getting it. But I highly doubt that someone who didn't care about Street Fighter or Resident Evil looked at this trailer shown in the showcase and was like, damn, now I want this game. Besides for maybe some people that got sold on Street Fighter because, yeah. But the same thing with Suicide Squad. If you were sold on it, you were sold on it. And from what I've heard, kind of the opposite happened, because the dislike to like ratio and the general reception doesn't look too good, but again, that's beside the point. There just wasn't a single heavy hitter here, no surprise announcements, none of that. And I don't know why PlayStation decides to do their marketing like this lately. Because PlayStation used to be really good at doing showcases. I remember years ago at E3, PlayStation would have their showcase at like 2 or 3 AM for me in the exam week. But I stayed up, and I never regretted it, because the PlayStation showcases were always exciting. There was always so many good announcements. They had so much personality in the showcase as well. The developers would come on stage, they would talk a bit about their game, but they also wouldn't talk about them too long, and they would move on to the next cool thing. And it would be banger announcement after banger announcement. But recently, all of that is just gone. Like, state of play is a thing that PlayStation does now, but state of plays just aren't as good. They're also not consistent at all. Like, I remember that we've had some good state of plays. We've had announcements like Tekken 8, Like a Dragon Ishin, Final Fantasy 16. I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy 7 Remake or Rebirth was also announced at a state of play. So we know that PlayStation knows how to do state of plays. But even at their best, I just think that a state of play isn't as good as a PlayStation showcase, or as PlayStation going to these events like E3 or Summer Games Fest. I've just been really disappointed with how PlayStation has been handling their stuff. And it's not like they don't have anything to show. Like, a lot of people are now saying, oh, PlayStation doesn't have any games, so of course they're not going to show anything. Of course their state of plays are going to be disappointing. But PlayStation has games. A a lot of them are cross-generation right now, so maybe there aren't that many PlayStation 5 exclusives at this very moment. But there are a lot of them coming up. A lot of them that we already know of, and a lot of them got announced at the previous big PlayStation showcase. Like the last big showcase was in September of 2021. It was 40 minutes long, so shorter than the one that we had yesterday. But we had Knights of the Old Republic Remake, we had Stellar Blade, which before that was known as Project Eve. We had Forspoken, which actually looked good at the time, even though it turned out to be less interesting, let's say. We had Guardians of the Galaxy, which didn't look interesting at the time, but now, having played it, it was really, really good. We had Wolverine announced, we had Spider-Man 2, and we had a God of War Ragnarok trailer. Like, that was 40 minutes, and that was so good. Now it was 45 minutes, and we don't have anything. And most of the games that I mentioned just now, Knights of the Old Republic, Stellar Blade, Wolverine, Spider-Man 2, are all games that aren't out yet. So where is the next big PlayStation showcase? It's almost been 2 years since the last one, and I think that we drastically need an update on these things, because PlayStation has things to show. We just don't know about a lot of them since they've been quiet for so long. Like, we know about the Horizon DLC, The Last of Us Factions 2 is coming, Death Stranding 2, and the stuff that I mentioned earlier with Knights of the Old Republic, Spider-Man, all that stuff. Then there's also the rumors with a Horizon remaster or remake, which I don't want, and I think it's really dumb, but I want them to just show it off so we know if it's just a PS5 upgrade or if it's genuinely just a remake, and in that case we can all shit on them together, but at least we'll know for sure then. There's rumors about The Last of Us Part 2 Director's Cut, maybe Uncharted 5 I've heard some stuff about as well. But then ignoring rumors and just looking at PlayStation Studios, there has to be so much we don't know. Like, what's been Studio Bend up to after Days Gone? What's Sony Santa Monica doing? What's Sucker Punch doing? What's Bluepoint working on? And I know that that's all first-party stuff, and PlayStation said that this showcase would be third-party focused. But PlayStation also has a lot of third-party games coming that everyone is really excited for. Like, where's Pragmata? That game looks so interesting and we barely know anything about it. They even have 2 Final Fantasy games coming out this year that are third-party and exclusive for a year. And there are probably other games that I'm not thinking of from the top of my head right now. I'm just trying to say, PlayStation has a lot of things that they could show off, and they're just not doing it for some reason. And I think that that's really disappointing. Because Nintendo is over there, having banger direct after banger direct. Xbox is also doing big showcases every now and then together with Bethesda, talking about their games like Starfield and all of that stuff. But where is the PlayStation showcase? I honestly wouldn't mind state of plays like this every now and then, if we got a showcase more often. Like, why not do one big showcase a year and have smaller state of plays whenever you have something to be shown? At least then, the fans will know that something is coming, because right now, Sony is just completely radio silence, up until the point that they randomly announce a state of play, and then it turns out to be really disappointing. Of course, when I say do a big showcase once a year, and do a state of play whenever you have something to show, I do mean do a state of play when you have something to show, not like yesterday, because yesterday it felt like they just had VR. They had Suicide Squad, and they just filled it out with random stuff to make it into a full-length show, which is just not interesting to watch. If you only have VR stuff to show, then just announce a VR-only state of play. People that are going to be interested in VR are going to watch it, and the people that don't care just know that there's not going to be anything for them there. We just need some more actual PlayStation showcases. Because, as I said, the last showcase was in September of 2021. The last time that Sony really showed off what they have in store was back then. And with state of plays like this, people just aren't going to be excited anymore. Because every time a state of play is announced, people get less and less excited. Because every state of play is just more and more disappointing. But that's basically everything I had to say. This was maybe a really messy, rambly video. I didn't really have a script, I just went off the things that were on my mind about the situation. If you have any thoughts about the PlayStation State of Plays, or just some things that I missed, some games that maybe we know about and I don't remember, or just in general, what do you think about the situation? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. But with that, I'm gonna end the video here. So if you enjoyed it, why not leave a like or check out my channel? I got a new video coming out very soon. I also have a Twitter account, I'll leave it in the description below, where I live tweeted the event, and I usually live tweet events like this, and just give my direct thoughts on stuff that got announced. But yeah, that was it. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.